Okay, we have a match here in what I think it's called Tournament Big Money, because there's, I think, actual money prizes. I don't really understand the organization that well of these things. I never do. But, well, anyway, it's a match between Freaky and hakha3, whose name, possibly both of their names, I'm mispronouncing, but it is what it is. Hopefully they'll forgive me. I assume this match is going to start soon. I think the format basically is it's a 7 game match, or it's a race to 4 wins, with ties being replayed with the same first player, if I understand correctly. Um, and yeah, this is the first match. I think all the players in this tournament are pretty strong. Certainly these two are. And yeah. Frace? Or is that a hard CH? Who knows? They're just setting the table up at this point and be getting. See, that would require me knowing the rules of this tournament, and that is not my strong suit. Okay, it's random. So, yeah, then the only thing they might have left to set up is ban dislike like lists. I don't know how that works in, how it would show up. Uh, I don't know. I also don't know what the rules of that for the tournament are. But we're about to see as this game is starting. Okay, looks like there is some form of that. What do we have here? We have Goat, because there's Pixie. There's Rebuild, but Goat, as typical, I think, is probably going to make Rebuild not particularly relevant here. Um, yeah, there's the only village on the board is, well, there's Field's Gift, but there's Hunting Lodge as a village. There's Masquerade as terminal draw. You get Thinning from your Goat, potentially from your Forager. You could also draw from Stables. It doesn't look like there's a ton to do here, to me. Forager is the only plus buy, again, other than Pixie Boons, and it needs to keep getting fed. Um, I don't know about mine seeming good because you're going to just trash enough with your goat that you're not going to have that many treasures. Um, I think I'm just getting some treasures and some stables and maybe a forager mostly, and some pixies probably. Maybe a masquerade, maybe a hunting lodge, but um, okay. And we have masquerade open. We have a pixie open. These things seem fine. I don't know that I have a particularly strong feeling about almost anything here, quite frankly. I don't think you can really get to double province realistically here, um, because the forager is the only plus buy, and you're just gonna. I mean, you could, but it seems slow because you're gonna hemorrhage cards. Um, no mask doesn't seem insane to me. Uh, you're gonna get enough other actions. You don't necessarily want to. You don't necessarily want to get a village, and you don't want to draw stuff dead. I think I'd take the masquerade, but it doesn't seem like OMG, it's terrible. Yeah, for the reasons that Truffles is saying, I like taking a masquerade, but I don't think it's the end of the world. I guess if you don't take one, it would appear that way. It would appear that way. Assemble me. Um, oh, assemble me isn't listening to me. So anyway, um, yeah. If okay, Swamp's Gift looks good. Mountain's Gift looks good. So those are both two pretty good boons for Haka, I think. This is not a great shuffle, but not a terrible shuffle to trigger because there's just going to be one card. Um, okay, wants 7 to go Pixie Stables. This also makes some sense. Uh, yeah, I think not trashing that seems probably better than trashing it and taking another Stables here. Yep. So I would think um, they would probably be getting to the province range pretty soon. Freaky is up 3-1 on Stables. Haka has gotten better boons. Freaky's thinner. I mean, Freaky looks ahead to me. You could trash the Masquerade. You could trash the Goat, I suppose. So there's 4 coppers left in this deck. There's 3 trashed. That tells me that there's still quite a bit of coppers left in Haka's deck. Freaky considering mine. Interesting. I think I'd just rather buy more expensive treasures than take a mine. Do you consider buying copper here already? Like if you get a gold, Sycomatic, I don't know if you're listening to me, Sycomatic is not listening to me. But like if you buy a gold, would you think about taking, and does take the mine, interesting. Flames Gift, probably not worth it. I think you're looking for better boons than that. I think I would have taken gold and maybe taken a copper. Um, and now Haka can take another stables. And Haka is behind by probably about a full turn, I think. Um, maybe a little less than a full turn, but also first player, so I mean that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's kind of a lot. More good Pixie Boons could maybe turn it around, but here's I think the best one left going to Freaky. I would think you'd discard here. Whoa, doesn't take Earths. Hmm. Well, I would think you'd be foraging Masquerade here. If you bought the mine last turn, you want to play it. And if you want to play the mine, you don't. Like the Masquerade isn't. Yeah, I certainly don't want to buy Hunting Lodge on this board. It's just too slow and expensive. Not sure how I feel about copper to silver. I think it prefers silver to gold. It's a pretty small thing, but you might eventually come back around and get wisps and have stuff to forage. Oh, I guess the bigger deal is probably the bigger deal for that is for the foragers, because it powers the foragers up, right? Yeah. Although it powers each of your foragers up, you both have one forager, so I'm not sure exactly how big that is. I don't think you can reasonably take the Sky's Gift here. I'm trying to remember what Hakha's last three cards are. They're just treasures, I think. I mean, I don't think Freaky was ever that far ahead. I think Freaky was like about a turn ahead, maybe. And I think Freaky still looks, I don't know, about that far ahead to me. I'm pretty sure both the cards down here are treasures, unless one of them's a pixie. They're playing fast enough, it's hard for me to keep a little bit of track, but I know it's not an any action that's not a pixie. And okay, well then, yeah, it would look to be that. Um, so Sycomatic is saying take this, stop and buy two pixies. So you discard stables, silver, copper, and forage a copper and buy two pixies, and you're taking a gold. Oh, take it twice. Well, then you can't buy two pixies, Kane. Oh, you can. You have two money in play. Okay, yeah. Um, yeah, what I was missing is that you already had two money from taking the forest's gift. Um, I don't know that another stables. I'm not sure. Are you underdrawing again? You might be. Guess this is a close call. If you draw here, if that's a silver and a copper, you're gonna have one, two, six is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12-ish money. So you could buy Stables Pixie Silver or something. Like if you don't take Sky's Gift here, you could buy. I think you could buy Stables Pixie Silver. So you have two in play now. You have seven in hand right now. That's nine, and then there's three more that you're drawing from these last two cards. That's 12, if I'm counting right. Someone correct me if I'm not. You could get to 13 by foraging goat. Yes, that's what the ish is about. Um, oh no, I was saying if you don't take Sky, then you have 12-ish. Um, but I think you could quite reasonably buy like Stables Pixie Silver here. You could forage silver. You could I'm actually not sure which of these things you want to forage. Um, Foraging goat gets you one more money right now. Powers up. Foraging goat or silver powers up the foragers for next turn. Um, Foraging silver makes your wisps a little bit better, but that's pretty minor, I think. Doesn't doesn't play forager at all. Okay. Well, this only really makes sense if you don't want to buy four things and you don't want to try. There's actually no reason to not trash a copper. because you could just rebuy the copper, worst case. So it can't be bad to play the forager. Um, Unless lowering that copper pile by one is, yeah, that's never going to matter. Um, you could have trashed a. How much money was there? Well, whatever. It is what it is now. I'm not going to think too much about it. The game's moving on. Moon's Gift certainly doesn't seem good enough. Sea's Gift doesn't seem good enough. Swamp's Gift could be good enough. It draws, although it's kind of time that Swamp is not as good as it would have been earlier. It does give your forager more food. We'll see if a wisp gets trashed here or whether it's a copper. I would think it would be one of those options, or it could be the goat, I suppose. Um, I think I like two pixies more than a stables from Hakha. It's kind of close though. But two pixies seem a little bit better. They draw a bit worse, of course, but you do have two wisps already, and you can get boons later. And I don't think drawing is that important. Okay, so Freaky's keeping the wisp here. I would expect province now, but I wouldn't be stunned if it's like gold and something building towards double. But I think I'd be taking. See, stables just doesn't seem to do much for Freaky to me. I like province silver, is my inclination. I think it's going to be real hard to get to double and then consistently double. Um, because you're just going to run out of stuff for your forager. But gold and silver was a plausible line. You can stop here and forage the goat and province without taking forests, which seems a little bit better to me than taking this. But not a lot better. Okay, this seems worse though. I think you need to be provincing. I think if you are trying to catch up as Hakha, you need to be provincing to try to match Freaky's pace on provincing and hope for some good boons down the line. I really think you need to take a province here. Because I just think it's too unlikely that Freaky misses in a way that is going to let you come back. Like, Freaky could miss province a turn, but um, yeah, but I don't think you need to play for that battle luck, and that's another stables. And no copper. Hmm. Yeah, Suns doesn't seem good enough. Skies, I think, is not good enough. Okay, so is it time to forage the goat? Three. I could get you to 13 money. Yeah, you're not going to hit double. In that case, it's probably not time to forage the goat. Forage copper, go mine silver into gold. Um, Again, I don't want another stables if I'm Freaky. I don't think I need it, and it just doesn't do that much. I've probably miscounted. You guys are counting 15. I presume you're right. Um, yeah, 15. Actually, you could get to 16 if you foraged the province, but that doesn't seem good. Oh no, that is still 15. Yeah, you're right. Because then the goat isn't in the trash. Yep, yep, yep. This looks like a Mandarin play to me, which I don't think is good, but I don't know, just like the way that you're not playing the goat. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just like you've decided what you're buying and it's not a gold, but okay. Now you're going to play the goat and you're going to go province gold, which is what my gut reaction was. Um, okay, Moon's Gift is surely not good enough. You're not going to take Flame. I don't think you're going to take Winds. You're taking Winds, okay. I mean, you get to draw now, but you discard Goat and Pixie there. The problem with that is you might want to do gain and play off Pixie. And if you don't find the Pixie fast enough, well, you did find the Pixie fast enough. You can guarantee Wisp hits, I understand, but you're less likely to do gain and play off the Pixie, so it's not 100% clear to me. Um, Earth Gift, you can't necessarily redraw if you take, right? Well, I mean, you theoretically could. But if you take two silvers, you're not going to draw them all. You draw some of them. You're going to draw the two things that you're discarding, and um, does that even? The Harbinger doesn't, because you're discarding two things, right? So you're going to have one plus the thing you discard to stables plus two treasures. So that's four treasures you have to draw plus whatever you're getting. I would guess that we're not going to see a stables dud because I'm going to guess that Hakka's going to pass a treasure. I mean, it's a little bit ironic because I assume the reason you're taking Masquerade here is because Freaky doesn't really have any bad cards left to pass you. But the kind of ironically, you pass him a treasure, and that's the card he actually needs. So it kind of rebounds the wrong way on you. Could also just like not get to the mask. Oh, did get to the mask. So is going to be passing copper, and yeah, mine makes a lot of sense. You don't want to trash copper here. And this is 13 money. Which is a little bit rough. You keep the mine as food for your forager, I assume. You could also play it, I suppose. I mean, you could play it instead of the Masquerade. Or if you get the Field's Gift. Okay, so Freaky looks to be in good shape again. I guess always did, but so again is not necessarily the appropriate word. Silvers look excellent. This is a double province, I think. I mean, I'm not sure what else you're doing if you're not doubling here. I guess you could trash the silver over the copper, I guess. But that doesn't seem good to me. I mean, I guess the copper's a little better for wisps, but okay. Yeah, now the best chance for Hakha is some kind of a like really bad. Okay, well, this is I expect resignation now. I was gonna say a really bad forced mask pass, but I mean, I'd like lab over stables here. I think. I don't know. In some numbers anyway. I think the first stables is typically better than the first lab, and the fifth lab is typically better than the fifth stables. Um, Shrug. I don't think I don't think that's the case. What didn't he draw a treasure anyway? If I scroll up here, drew province stable pixie. Yeah, okay. I am incorrect. Hmm. Interesting to put the goat on top and not the silver. Not really sure, but yeah, but you don't want a silver. I don't know. I mean, like, there's probably reasons for it, and they're probably good reasons. I don't know. Hakha can't make more than 14 here. Could pass a province. The mine would make the money. Um, Theoretically, could pass a stables, and I assume that if stables is drawing freaky to enough money to province, but I'm not sure that that's necessarily guaranteed. Um, Yeah, so the bottom card here is well, nobody's going to pass anything, I think, because the bottom card is Masquerade, and well, I would expect what Hakha would do here is not take this, forage a copper, mine silver into gold, buy double duchy, and then hope for some kind of absolute nothing from Freaky, and I don't know, it doesn't really matter. Freaky's winning on Freaky's turn for sure. I guess the only way that doesn't happen is if you take Ski's gift and then you pass, like, I don't know, mine, and then Freaky doesn't draw to enough to province. But this is just not happening. You're not winning this game. Yes, Freaky would pass stables. You are correct. Anyway, forage stables. See, I'd seen the forage stables hand line, but for some reason I was thinking you pass the forager, but that obviously doesn't really make sense. Okay, so Freaky's up 1-0. We're switching player order now, so Hakha's going to go first. Going into game 2. Okay, we've got a couple of projects here. We've got Treasurer, Villain, Chariot Race. There really isn't much in terms of draw. The only way to draw cards here is Prince, or if you can activate your shanty towns. And either of those is going to make it pretty hard to draw a lot, I think. Crypt is kind of draw, yeah. I don't think Canal does that much to change Duchy Duke. I'm getting a spam call.
Thank you, Alex, and see you all on Sunday.
What?
Bye bye.
How did you get unmuted? Other thing? Um, okay, sorry. I don't think I agree with the take that no buy makes Duchy Duke worse. In fact, I think no buy probably makes it Duchy Duke better. It's not like, at least the like going for duchies and dukes more quickly better, because it's not like you're gonna get multiple duchies and dukes on a lot of turns if you're going for that. Um, I would think I'd be going for Duchy Duke and or Chariot Race stuff here. Um, Surely Treasurer is quite good. Here I'd be inclined to take the key and buy Canal. And that's what Hakha does. And is this going to be Canal or it's Prince? Okay. Hakha takes another Treasurer. Treasurer Changeling does net gain, yes. I mean, just Treasurer kind of net gains, except that you run out of treasures to trash. No, you just have the same silver in the trash each time, right? Oh, it goes back to the supply. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It looks like so they're both going for Prince, and they're not going for Duchy Dukes at least yet. Um, Hakka's going for a lot of treasurers. Um, Canal has an interaction with Prince that you could Prince a treasurer or a villain here. So I would expect to see treasurer get Princed here, and probably a chariot race bot. I don't know. Somehow I'm not convinced by all of this. And now Freaky does start in on duchies. Okay, I kind of like that. Hakha now seems, though, very close to just being able to province every turn. So I'm wondering that this might be too late if you're going for Duchy Duke. Or at least close enough to every turn that you're going to win, I think. Like Hakha could just start going province, 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 I think. I guess Freaky could take a province here instead of a duchy as well. I'm not sure if Freaky is as well set up to do that every turn, but I think that's the best, maybe the only chance, is to just start provincing now. Or I guess maybe you don't have to do it quite now, but soon. But if you're going to be doing it soon, I wouldn't want to, like, I don't know what else you could build one turn here, I suppose. But yeah, province makes sense. Okay. Hakha could take coppers, but why would Hakha take coppers now? Oh, I I guess. I don't know. I think the way this game is going to play out is they're each just going to be buying province every turn for the rest of the game. Um, I mean, you could have bought farmland and trashed a thing into a duchy there. I don't know if that's really going to do anything. Yeah, I kind of feel like built they built too long. Um, I don't know. Well, this isn't a province, but problem is it doesn't need to be. Takes a changeling? I don't. It doesn't matter, right? Can't you? Do I? Oh, because it's not. Doesn't cost 3 or more. Why did Freaky buy such an early duchy? Because it's 3 points and he was able to buy province basically every turn after that anyway. Yeah, I think it was, well, at least a lot higher than 99%. I don't know, maybe you could stack both decks, but I'm not even sure about that. Okay, moving into game three. Freaky's up 2-0. Just dominate here. There's also colony. This tells me you're going to build a lot. The thinning is pretty bad. It's just dismantle. Um, Paddock seems real good. Opening Tormentor seems nice. Um, but Paddock seems really good to me. I'd probably just be trying to pile them. Uh, at the beginning, okay, I take Tormentor. But I think I'd be going for like a lot of Paddocks and Throne Rooms. Maybe some Rabbles. Not sure about the Rabbles. I don't know. On turn one, Tormentor over Paddock is kind of appealing because you get the imps. Later on, I'm not about it, but right at the beginning seems okay. I think even by turn three, like I wouldn't. Like if Freaky had just hit 5 here instead of 7, I don't. I don't think I'd take Tormentor. But on turn one or two, I don't know, you're probably going to get like 2 to 3 imps out of it. And the hexes aren't nothing. You're going to have a long time for hexes to do things, so I don't mind the opening Tormentor. So Freaky's going to trigger a shuffle here, buying this ghost town. Um, there isn't too much of another card that I want. It could be another ghost town, I guess. Could be a dismantle. Well, you know that the remaining 4 cards are just 4 coppers in an estate, right? So triggering this shuffle actually seems good to me. Is it worth buying worse cards? That's questionable. Why does it seem good? Because these are 4 bad cards. I don't want them, and whatever I'm buying is also not particularly good. So having these cards miss the shuffle seems good to me, because they're not your good cards. I don't think that I think they're bad enough that I um, want to get a worse card for it, but triggering the shuffle seems good. It just doesn't seem good enough. Yeah. And Freaky goes for Rabble over Paddock. Okay. I mean, I guess I can see Rabbles, but I think I'd be on the Paddocks pretty hard. You just play Dismantle here. You could dismantle the Baron or maybe a Copper. I guess you could also play Rabble. That's the other thing to think about. Um, I could see Ghost Towns running. I could see Throne Rooms running. I don't know. I guess the thing is, like, Paddock net over the long term draws 1 fewer card than Rabble does, right? But it makes 2 more money, and then eventually it won't be terminal. Um, yeah, Throne Rooms or Ghost Towns or Paddocks. Well, if not both players are going for Paddocks, then I don't think Paddocks. But well, yeah. I don't think Paddocks are going to run before Thrones if if um if this is the way that it's going, and they're not both going for things, and by things I mean Paddocks, but goes for acting troop there. Interesting. So Hakha could turn this imp into an animal fair here. I don't think I like it, but oh, you could just play it as well, I suppose. Double throne room seems reasonable-ish, but I'm not sure that you have quite enough actions at the moment to support it. Like ostensibly, 8 and 2 buys, the best thing on the board, kind of abstractly, is 2 throne rooms, but I don't think you have enough actions at the moment to facilitate that. The other reason I kind of like Paddock here is that I think it's better with Throne Room than Rabble is, because you have a lot of things that you can potentially hit. Here, I'm definitely buying a Paddock if I'm Hakha. Again, I could see Rabble, but yeah, of course Hakka isn't. Neither of them are drawing, and neither of them are going to be drawing for a while. But Paddock gets you towards drawing. Um, Again, not as much as Rabble does, but This turn is not worked out. I don't think two horses could be worth a villager. I don't think they're worth your last villager. If he had four villagers, I think I'd probably play the paddock here. With one, I don't think I am. Yeah, also there's arena. The other thing about rabble though, which is worth noting, is that there is the attack. That's not nothing. So you thrown Baron here, and you get a nice three things, which can be. I mean, I want more throne rooms principally. Um, throne. Again, I still kind of like Paddock over Rabble, I think, but either of those seem fine. I think I want two thrones. I'm not sure, but I think I do. Yeah, okay. So both of their decks have started to function reasonably, although not fantastically. Freaky's going to go for Throne Room and some kind of 5 cost here. I don't think I would spend the last villager there to get the imp. I'm not sure I would have throned right then. Whoa, oh, this seems bad. No, no, no. You really wanted to throne the Baron. And we get into the awkward situation that we're in now because he has drawn two more cards. Yup. I don't have a problem with denying this. Um, I mean, it won't affect Haka's play, but you don't know that if you're Freaky. I mean, I would grant it, but I wouldn't blame somebody for denying it. Um, wow, that seems like awful tilt. Maybe it's about the diluted, but it's 2-1 for Freaky, Apostoloso ruler. And you can hear me, great. Well, I don't know what to say about that, but let's move on to the next game. Um, Windfall is a huge injection of econ if you can get there. Peasant, city quarter. Discipling a city quarter is just a great feeling. Um, there's also demand. I would expect a demand here. Demanding a gear, okay, sure. Yeah, I think I'm demanding on 5 for quite a while. Eventually, maybe I get wild hunts, maybe, but early on, it's very hard for me to pass up demands. Um, I don't think I would have. Whoa, you're not playing that gear? I guess you really don't want to have that shuffle with the. I think I play the gear there. I know I'm triggering the shuffle, and that the peasant is going to then miss, but it's a short shuffle, and I don't know. I feel like you're giving up a lot. Maybe you're not giving up as much as I think. They're both playing like pretty fast. Um, it's a vaguely similar decision here for Freaky, but I like not triggering that shuffle more because you A, get to keep the horse for your next shuffle, and B, it's not gear um, that's going down. I don't think I'd want. I don't know if Dan is listening, but I don't think I would want plus action on Wild Hunt here because I would expect I'm going to be like discipling city quarters, and city quarters giving me all my draw, whatever. Wild Hunt is mainly going to be around for points, I think, um, if at all. Um, the thing to note is that there isn't really much trashing. There's just like the occasional Bard boon and kind of island, but um, mm, it was an interesting decision there. Another peasant. Here you're going to set aside gear and copper. Okay, and you're buying a peasant. Sure. This is a pretty sad draw for Hakha. How many villages do they each have? So just both of Hakka's villages are in the um, bottom 4 cards here. That's pretty sad. Takes another village. I think I might have discarded the horse there. Maybe not. I don't know. Set aside estate copper here, I think. Looks like it's slipping away though after that bad shuffle from Hakka. I'd be pretty inclined to buy City Quarter, yeah. I have 2 disciples that I would hope to be able to pair with it. Didn't get that, unfortunately. Um, okay, I'm setting aside. Huh. See, I was expecting discipling Mountain Village again, and at that point, I actually would have thought about taking a teacher because I would have had five of them. At some point soon ish, I guess I'm thinking about econ. Although, I guess, what do I want for econ? I probably just windfall for econ eventually, right? I'm certainly not exchanging to teacher now, but like, if I discipled the other mining village, I would have five of them. I would at least think about it. But like my gut feeling was to disciple both mining villages and then exchange one of them for a teacher because I'd have six mining villages. But if I want to exchange for a teacher, I don't think this is the way I would have played the turn. So at this point, I'm not expecting teacher now. And if I'm not taking teacher now, I'm probably not taking it later. Doesn't take it. Okay. Interesting. And as freaky, I wouldn't really be thinking about taking teacher, I don't think. Play this. I want. I mean, I think I want to trigger this shuffle, right? Because I want to get. Yeah, now I know I have a city quarter on top. Um, Either on top or saved with the gear, right? Um, Neither of them has three disciples. Hakha has two, and Freaky has one. Freaky's about to have two, I assume. I don't think Freaky's gonna exchange the disciple here. Slay peasant. Okay. This is no Shakalaki. This is tournament big money. This was a pretty rotten draw. You could take a free city quarter, or you could try to draw a card. But I don't know what you're really hoping to draw, so I think I'd disciple the city quarter and buy. My inclination would be to buy gear, but I guess I'm not sure how many peasants he has. Like, if you have at least one peasant, you can get as many buys as you need. Yes, truffles, we will. How much money? This is nine, so this is a little bit short of hitting windfall. They're both up and running at this point. Oh, if I could afford windfall, I'm pretty sure I would be taking it now. I don't think I want to pop a mining village for it, though. I don't know. That's probably just weird gut feelings. That doesn't make the most logical sense. Um, there are a lot of options as to what you take here. I mean, you could messenger something. You don't think you ever get windfall? Hmm. What do you mean no time? You think the game is ending on before? I don't think the game is ending that fast. Like I want to buy provinces, and then you can't end the game. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I think I'm coming around to play and pop a mining village by windfall here. Messengers for peasants. Okay. Now this implies to me that this peasant is going to turn into a soldier and he wants to use soldier as the main payload. Oh, but returns a soldier for a fugitive and not a peasant for a soldier. That confuses me. Okay. I don't think I want to disciple this city quarter. I might disciple a later one in the turn. But I have, a couple disciples, and I have more city quarters I can disciple one later, I think. I don't think I'm going to be able to realistically win on my turn if I'm Hakha. So I'm also worried about lowering the city quarter pile too much to some extent. What did you want to demand, Dan? Oh, Dan's not listening. Thanks, J Nails. Anything? Anything. Okay. Um, okay, the island makes some amount of sense. You get the demand in, you score a little bit of points. Um, I'm setting aside one of these disciples at least. Whoa, not setting aside any disciples? Yeah. I don't like it. Wait. Even given J Nails, you think Haka could have piled here given the way that the turn started? I think that's very unlikely. Piled and won? You're going to pile out mining villages, gears, and city quarters and score 3 points? That seems very hard. I mean, you do get to pop a lot of mining villages, but the gains and or the money. Yeah, I want to be seeding with gears mostly though. I don't know. If I'm Haka, I'm probably mostly trying to work out whether I need to buy a duchy. But my inclination would be like Demand Island. I think I think you say Freaky, if you can pile out this turn, hats off to you. I don't think I can beat that draw. Um, Realistically, like, okay, if I score 3 points, I'm okay. This seems potentially like this is ambitious, but potentially good. It is risky in a sense, but well, money wise, it's not too bad if you disciple City Quarter here. But then gain wise, I think Haka has the lion's share of the extra gains. I don't think Freaky can end. At which point, I don't want to disciple the City Quarter because I don't want to lower them that low. I might. Okay, you could also try to end with peasants, I guess. I would have thought about discipling Island, yeah. It thins your deck out, it scores you some points. You're going to set aside City Quarter here. I'm not sure what else you're probably horse. I think. I mean, I think you're a bit action limited, but it's so good to set those two aside. I don't know which of these you're not playing. Probably the island. All right, I gotta mute myself for a minute. I'll be back. Hopefully, well, the game might be over by then, but I'll be back in a bit. Okay, I'm back. Um, I'm not sure the province is going to save you. Like, it could just be that you say, I'm going to have a big next turn, right? And that's how I win this game. You just hope for Freaky to dud. You need to score a little bit, but like you have a bunch of money in your deck. Whoa! Wild Hunt. I don't like it. I kind of liked the island demand island idea. I also don't like lowering peasants this much. Okay, he didn't well, he lowered by an amount but then took soldiers back. Um, so if you disciple peasant, draw peasant, disciple peasant, that gets two peasants gone. Um, that gets you six buys. It's not really enough, is it? You can messenger peasants, but then you need to be able to buy mining village, peasant, city quarter, pay off the debt. Guess you probably have enough money for that. That's 4, 8, 10, 12. You need 20 money? Yeah, it's plenty. Peasant, city quarter, city quarter. Yep. Yeah, so kind of in a way, Haka did lower the peasants because even though he returned the same amount he got, he could have returned them anyway and then not bought anymore. And peasant is, I think, the easiest pile to pile there because of how disciple on it works. So this is 3-1 for Freaky now, and that means it's next game wins, I believe. Yeah, I, I don't think that there was much chance for Haka anyway. Um, well, I want to open something which includes Hermit here. That's the main thing I know. Could be double Hermit. Pretty sad to have 2-5. Um, Hermit Church seems fine. I mean, I'm probably taking the treasure on the 2-5, but I'm not chuffed. Now I'm trashing this hovel, gaining. Okay. Yeah, this seems good. Freaky's going to draw his deck here. And, yeah, it looks pretty hard. I assume take like a treasure on this turn and you're just in a pretty dominant position. Doesn't really look like there was much Haka could have done against this draw in this game. There's probably multiple really good things to do here, but my inclination is to take a treasurer. Looks like Freaky wants to keep the necropolis. Okay. Gatekeeper ostensibly could be relevant here as a counter to knights. Um, I mean, you're taking the key whatever you're doing, right? Like, whether you're buying something or banishing the copper, you want the key. It's just kind of like free. Um, Here I would expect Madman. I'd expect set 3 coppers aside and take a Madman so that you're going to try to banish a lot of coppers next turn. Alternatively, you could buy Sir Martin, I guess. You'd be a bit over terminal at that point. But it could be that you think the only way you're losing the game is if knights really crush you, so you want to get ahead on them. I don't know. Also, they are obelisk points, so it's not nothing. Hmm. No, I think I kind of like trashing the copper and buying Anna there more than taking the key and buying Anna. I don't know. I could see the key, I suppose. I don't know. I'm not super concerned about the buys because I don't think that by the time buys matter, I don't think that the game is in question. Basically, or yeah, or that Martin won't be around. Um, well, but when you play Martin, you don't necessarily get to keep Martin, and the deck isn't entirely clean. I mean, this game looked over before. It really looks over now. So, what's happening here? The Knights are going to run, and Freaky's going to get more of them. The buy could be relevant here. Hakha never really had a deck, Truffles. Um, Freaky got very, very good opening draws, and Hakha got kind of bad opening draws, and it's just been pretty lopsided all game. Hakha got the 2-5, and Freaky got pretty close to optimal draws, also with a good open. Um, you're not going to get 3 knights. Did I miscount? Wasn't that? Oh, trashed the copper. Yeah, well, whatever. It's hard to criticize too much at this point. The game just seems 12 ways to over. You'd rather lose Natalie here, I would think, but Freaky thinks otherwise. I don't think it's really going to matter. Oh no, wait, he does. Never mind. He did trash Natalie and discarded Bailey. My brain's backwards. Okay, so now this city is on. I guess you could try to empty a second pile. It seems pretty bad though. So I'm probably just buying provinces. Yeah, okay. And I believe that's 4 games. 4 games to one. I think that's the match is over. If I understand how this works correctly. I apparently do understand how this works correctly. Yeah, I think there were a lot of games with a lot of decisions that could have gone a couple different ways. There were some interesting moments. Last game wasn't so interesting. It seemed pretty lopsided, and that seemed largely based on draws. This is a double elimination tournament, so Hakka's not out of it. Just going down to the losers bracket. Yeah, don't think there's that much more to say. Thanks for listening, everyone, and catch you again later.